Hello students, today we are going to see this topic aggregate functions. Okay, so this aggregate function is a function that will do some action and it will return only one value as output. Okay, so that is known as aggregate functions. So this action will be carried out on any table or any column. Okay, so there are five functions, aggregate functions. One is count, average, sum, max, and minimum. Okay. So count, you all know that. So this will count the number of rows in a particular table or particular column, and it will return the number here. Okay. So here there is an example. So select count from students. So in a student table, they are counting number of rows here. So you can see that the output is 7. Okay. In the next example, you can see that the count is applied on average column. Okay, only on average column. So from that table, okay, so in the last example, the entire table was selected, but here you can see that only average column is selected and the same number of rows is displayed here. And one more thing, so if your table or a column has null values, okay, say for example, in the last example, average is taken into consideration. Okay, so if any row of the table student in average column has null value, okay, ஸோ ஏதாவது ஒரு ஆவரேஜ் அப்படின்ற அந்த காலத்தில் ஏதாவது ஒரு வேல்யூ வந்து நல்லா இருந்தது அப்படின்னா அந்த நல் வேல்யூவை எலிமினேட் பண்ணிடும். ஓகே, ஸோ அதோட அவுட்புட் வந்து 6ன்னு வரும். ஸோ அதான் வந்து இந்த நோட் அப்படின்றத கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் இஸ் ஆவரேஜ். ஸோ த ஆவரேஜ் will be found in the function. Okay, so here you can see that select average avg is the function. In that they are providing the column average in the table student. Okay, so this will fetch all the data in the average column and find the difference, find the addition of it and divide by number of columns. Okay, so, number of rows. So here you can see that it is providing you the average as 84 point, uh, 84.657 something. Okay, so here also the same null value are ignored. Okay, next is sum. Okay, so it will sum uh, all the data in the particular row or the particular column. Okay, so here the same example but a different function, sum average. Okay, some function is given with the average column, so it will calculate all the it will calculate the sum of all the average number, which is 7 average numbers will be there. So and display the result. Next is maximum and minimum. So maximum function and minimum function will provide you the maximum number of that particular column. Okay, so here you can see that they are providing you the maximum average mark and max minimum average mark and their particular name. Okay, so select student name and maximum average from the uh, student table. Okay, so here you can see that it displays the name of the student and it displays the maximum average obtained by the student. The same for the minimum average. Okay, so the query is select a student name, minimum average, and from the student. Okay, so this will collect all the details from the student table, which contains minimum average mark and its respective name. Okay, next is updating a record. Okay, So far we have seen selecting the records and giving some functions and creating some records. Okay, now the existing record should be updated. Okay, so this update record is can be seen here. So you can even update a record in a table through Python script. The following example changes the name Priya to Priyanka in the record of student table. Okay, so here you can see that they are executing an update instruction. Update student, set name, yes, name is equal to Priyanka, where roll number is equal to 6. Okay, so you have to select the name of it first. Okay, so select the record that particularly has the name. Okay, so here they have used the roll number as the search value. So they are using the roll number 6 to find the record and change the name from Priya to Priyanka. So after that they are selecting all the records. Okay, they are collecting all the records and displaying the output. Okay, so here you can see that roll number 6 is changed as Priyanka. Okay, remember throughout this chapter student table is used as an example, so it is there in example 15.3.2. Okay, next is deleting operation. So here you can see that delete from table where roll number is equal to 2 is the query used here. So this will delete only that record with roll number 2. Okay, next is data input by user. So here you can see that the value of inserting a record is collected from the user, and it is framed as a command, a SQLite command, and it is executed, and the data has been inserted in the table. Okay, so here you can see that user is given as an input with student, enter 5 student name, enter their ages, enter their id respectively, and length. Okay, they are finding the length, and you can see that they are using a for loop to repeatedly execute all the five records into the table. Okay, so here you can see that this is the output of it. So they are creating a small table with the name, age, and id. Okay, name, age, and id. So you can even add records to the already existing table like student. Use the above code with appropriate modification in the field name. To do so, you should commit the create table statement. Okay, after creating it, you have to commit. Okay, so this here you can see that they'll be using commit statement. Okay, so cursor dot commit or will be executed at the last, so that it will permanently save all the changes in the database. So next is using multiple tables for queuing. Okay, so here you can see that they'll be using Python allows to uh, queue more than one table by joining them. Okay, so in the following example, a new table called appointments were containing the details of student's roll number, duty, age, and create the table student and appointments. Okay, are joined and displayed in the result with the column header. Okay, so here you can see that they are joining two tables. Okay, so join two tables and displaying the result. Okay, So select student roll number, student name from appointment, duties ages from student comma appointment. Okay, so here you can see that they are selecting the values from two tables simultaneously. So and display the result. Okay, so next is integrating queries with the CSV file. Okay, so here now they are taking the value from CSV file and writing the column header. Okay, so here you can see that they are creating a new CSV file, and here they are selecting the selecting the data from the student table and writing that uh, data into the CSV file and closing the connection here. Okay, so here you can see that they are creating the CSV record. T is equal to open C Python program SQL dot CSV comma W means writing mode. So CSV dot writer is equal to D. Now they are creating the connection between this program and SQLite, and they are selecting all the records of the student table ordered by gender. Okay, gender and name. So all these records will be collected and stored in data. So the for loop is used to get um, all the data and write it in C. Okay, so C means CSV writer. So that will automatically write all the data into the CSV file. Okay, so in this example you can see that open a SQL Excel.csv through MS Excel and view the result of the program. Okay, so the same program is viewed in this by Excel application, and you can see that it is provided the result easily. Okay, so next is table list. Okay, so you can even execute a command in such a way that you can show all the tables in particular database. So select a name from a table SQL master where type is equal to table. Okay, so this command will show all the tables in the database. So this database is academic.db. So in this table, sorry, in this database, there are three tables. One is student, appointments, and person. Okay. So this table master is hold the key information about the database tables, and it is called SQLite master underscore master. Okay. So this SQL underscore master is a variable that will contain all the names of the table. By accessing the SQLite master, you can get all the names of the table present in that particular database. Okay. So with this, we are finishing this chapter. We'll see the next chapter, which is the last chapter, data visualization using pie plot, line chart, pie chart, and bar chart. So thank you, students.